Bima Intermediaries Association of Kenya has tabled recommendations before Parliament on the proposal to delete Section 156 of the Insurance Amendment Bill 2018 instead of repealing certain subsections which, according to them, will negatively affect insurance penetration in the country. Well, let's take a look at the numbers, really. Some of the recommendations tabled are to establish an anti-fraud committees and working with relevant industry or trade associations to encourage and maintain an industry-wide approach, all in a bid to counter fraud in the sector. Audit firm KPMG 3 years ago stated that insurance premiums in Kenya could be 20% lower if fraud was curbed. The Insurance Amendment Bill of 2018 further proposes insurance fraudsters be jailed for a period not exceeding 5 years. The amendments will see the Act comply with the International Association of Insurance Supervisors standards on countering insurance fraud. Well, I'm now joined by Washington De Gea, who is the chairman of Bima Intermediaries. Many thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Avi.
Quite an interesting proposal you're trying to push in relation to mitigate the full effects of what the insurance sector is set to go through. Just break it down for us. Why the sudden interest with this bill?
Thanks, Abby, for having me. This is a bill that has caused a lot of consternation in the insurance sector because we feel it's more of a knee-jerk reaction than anything else. When you talk about premiums, before you even get to premiums, there's a process. Premiums are a last resort of anything, of the transaction, so to speak. We, the insurance industry, especially in the intermediary side, feel the government should be looking at more how to train the intermediaries, especially the insurance agents. You see, Bima Intermediaries, we are here on behalf of 10,000, over 10,000 insurance agents in Kenya. And we are doing a lot of business, billions, about 60% of the premiums collected in this country. There's a way to go about training insurance agents for them to be able to curb fraud, but not going for the premiums. Remember, before, we are repeating a whole Section 156.
Yes.
The section has been existing in a very, very comprehensive form. The section has about 14 subsections dealing on premiums. The new section has just about 6 subsections dealing on premiums. That means it's a very, very shallow section, and the only thing notable among that is don't touch premiums. To us, that's a little bit very, very unprofessional. It's bringing out, it leaves a very bad taste in the mouth because you don't feel like the government is actually really interested, even in fact, in furthering insurance consumption in this country.
All right. But Washington, one would argue that the government is also trying to rein in on the industry, which has been sort of having very weak policy frameworks. And this is one of the mitigations that they are considering. And what then should be the compromise so that we have a win-win situation?
Abi, you're very, very right. The industry has had a lot of rogue agents. So many stealing people's premiums.
Oh yes.
Those are thugs. They're not even agents. We as an association have come up to get rid of these thugs. You know, we have a code of ethics that all our members follow.
Yes.
But we go with this proposal to Insurance Regulatory Authority to give us teeth, to make it compulsory for everyone, if you want to practice insurance as an insurance agent, to pass through the association. We can be able to vet, because we know these guys. We know whoever is doing this. But it's not a mandate to chase them out, right? So instead of even going for the premiums, first of all, strengthen the existing structures. You know, the other day we heard that these insurance companies, the umbrella body, AKI, Association of
Kenya Insurance,
they were saying that they are owed over 40 billion worth of premiums. Abi, how did you get to 40 billion? Did you get to 40 billion last year? Or last year but one? These are things that happened over time. Remember, you cannot get licensed in this country if you owe money to an insurance company. Who is this who's licensing agents and brokers without wakati wako na deni, so to speak? So can we start down there on whoever is licensing there's a problem of regulation, so to speak, you know? So can we curb that before even start talking about touching of premiums? Remember also, this is receiving premiums on behalf of an insurer. It's a badly thought out idea. How am I expected to, me as an insurance agent, how am I expected to do my business? Remember, I've done this business for the last 15 years. I've been receiving commissions. I've been receiving premiums on behalf of my clients all along. They trust me explicitly with their premiums. They don't have a problem with me. But all of a sudden, they're being told, this guy is a problem. Then they're asking, how is he a problem? Now you need to take your premiums directly to the insurance company. Who has time to do that? Abby.
Quite pertinent questions you're raising there, Washington. So what is the next step now that you've done this amendment that you seek to push through Parliament, and do you feel it will gather sufficient support on the House of Parliament?
Yes, we feel the proposals in here, the counter proposals, so to speak, they are comprehensive more than, what we are talking here can't even, the time we have here can't even have, I can't comprehensively finish up what the proposals are about. We've made a proposal to Parliament, and not to tell them to see the light, because it was a badly thought out idea, and we need Parliament to really understand what it is all about. Because as we speak, it's already gone through the first reading. It's awaiting the second reading. Now we made our proposal, so we are waiting for our submissions now, personally face to face in Parliament, so that the parliamentarians can really understand the proposals are not actually for the good for the country. Let me say that. They're not good for the country. They're not good for insurance penetration in this country. They're actually going to claw back the gains that have happened previously.
All right. And finally, Washington, from where you sit right now, we've seen a lot of improvements in terms of reforms in the insurance industry that are all geared towards increasing penetration from the current 3% to, say, 5 to 7% in the near future. But from your interactions with the players in the industry, what is the general feeling of where the insurance industry is going? Are we on the right track? If you look at our peers, such as South Africa, then about 15% penetration.
We are not on the right track, Abby. The government is not getting it right. And you see, when I talk about the government, I'm talking about IRA. It's a regulator, that's the arm of the government that's in charge of regulation, that's in charge of insurance regulation in this country. IRA has been doing stuff without involvement of the stakeholders. The other day, they allowed, for example, they allowed banks into the insurance industry. They didn't consult anyone. I don't know how right that is supposed to happen. The other day, we also learned that there's some acts that have been changed into the Insurance Act regarding banking without stakeholder involvement. So you're wondering, is it actually banks that are being favored in the whole changes thing? Because things are being sneaked into the Insurance Act behind our backs. We find that now banks are being elevated even more than brokers, even more than agents. They started working as insurance agents, but now they've metamorphosed into something we've never had. You know, into a super broker or a super agent or something. And you're wondering, banks, Abby, can never do insurance in this country. Can never be what can you say? They can never be solely responsible for penetration. In fact, they can't affect the penetration we are talking about.
All right.
The penetration we have so far is through the brokers and the insurance agents.
Great. Quite a lot to share, Washington. Always a pleasure having you.
Thanks,
on the program.
Cool.
Well, Washington Degea there, the chairman of BIMA Intermediaries, just trying to articulate some of the concerns that they are trying to front when it comes to addressing matters to do with insurance in the country. We'll definitely be having more of these conversations here on the program. We want to proceed on a short commercial break, but just a quick recap on our Twitter poll question. Today we're asking you, what do you think it will take to make Kenya's healthcare system more accessible and affordable to residents? That is our Twitter poll question. You can tweet us at KT News, or you can tweet me at Agina Abi. Remember to use the hashtag KTN Business. Well, shortly I'll be hosting Dr. Amit Thakur here in studio. But But that's what we are seeing on social media. Well, most of you are saying build more hospitals. There's also an issue around mobile clinics. Others saying they do not know what it would take to improve the healthcare system. We'll be trying to get some answers into this all-important conversation in a short while. We continue to welcome the avalanche of feedback on Twitter. As you can see there, employ more healthcare workers. Someone is saying that the country needs more hospitals and also drugs to be available at all times. Another tweet there by Rafael Nyungu saying that we need drugs and not necessarily the hospitals that stock no good drugs or none at all. Well, many thanks for your feedback so far. We now proceed for that quick commercial break. More coming up, including latest news of Kenya Commercial Bank almost finalizing the process of acquisition of Imperial Bank. All that in a short while.
This is KTN News.
When this happened, we were with you. When this happened, we were with you.
KTN haiongei uongo, inakwambia ukweli.
I love watching KTN News because it's one of the channels that's giving us live coverage.
Ukitaka kujua vile Kenya inaendelea, unatazama KTN peke yake.
Can you open this door? They say they now want to remove me by force. Well, they would have to kill me first.
Look at that, Bonnie. We have more reinforcements here, officers, and they're pointing at me. But Bonnie, careful. We have been asked to leave here. Do not destroy our property, sir. We are doing our job. Do not push it, sir. You are live on KTN News. Yes, and this is an upgrade. What have I done? No, why are you beating that? Hey!
Over the bar! Over the bar! Over the bar! Diana. What a night. Floated in by 13:34 time in England. High odds. Fast pay. Bookmaker Company.
Every Friday, KTN News and the Nairobi Securities Exchange have embarked on a journey to educate you on the capital markets industry.
The biggest need in the market is in the affordable housing space.
There's need for us to really pass the education down to the real basic level.
Featuring in-depth interviews from industry captains to the market analysis.
On a speculative level, yes, it's a good time to buy.
The Trading Bell, every Friday from 3:30 p.m. with me, Abi Agina.
This is KTN News.